Last time out in the British Rally Championship, it would be victory on the challenging lanes of Northern Ireland for Matt Edwards and Patrick Walsh. An unfortunate mistake from Tom Cave and Dale Bowen would end their hopes of a victory early in the rally, leaving them on the back foot going into the final round of the championship. But with both crews still to play their jokers in Scotland, it wasn't over for Cave just yet. In the junior BRC category, it would be a delighted Josh McGurlin reaching the end of his home event with enough points to take the 2019 title. But there was still plenty more to be sewn up at the final round, including that €60,000 prize for the Fiesta Trophy winner. The final round of the British Rally Championship then heads back over the water and back onto the gravel for the Galloway Hills Rally. And there were plenty of challenging miles lying in wait for our crews, looking to get those final points of the season on the leaderboard. Onto the opening stages of the day then, and it would be Tom Cave and Dale Bowen leading the way. They come into this round knowing that a victory was what they needed. Nothing less would do, the rest was out of their control. They used a few minutes of their penalty-free lateness though to drop back in the running order a little, maximising their chances with grip on the road and taking a 6.8 second lead after 2 stages. Second to Cave at this stage would be Johnny Greer and Di Roberts, back in the championship this weekend with nothing to gain or lose. The gloves were off and the times were looking good, probably with a little more to give, but overall they were happy with their pace this morning. Something we haven't said for a while, but Matt Edwards and Patrick Walsh will be at the lower end of the podium to start the day. They didn't need to drive flat out, they needed to manage things, just needing to get round safely this weekend. But sometimes in this game that is easier said than done. They have a small issue on the opening stage of the day, but nothing that they can't manage. And despite the times not being up there at the top of the leaderboard where they were used to being, they were doing exactly what they needed to do for that championship. Jordan Hone would have a new co-driver this weekend. Keaton Williams switching seats with Josh McGurlin not entering this round. And things were going well for the pair to start, leading the junior crews after the morning stages by 3.8 seconds. Just behind Hone on the leaderboard was Marty Gallagher, Dean O'Sullivan alongside. They hadn't had the best of seasons, it was fair to say, but they wanted to go out on a high here at the Galloway Hills. The feeling in the car was good this weekend, so the look could just be changing around. 5th overall for now, 2nd of our junior crews at this early stage. As we have by now come to expect, times in the junior category here in the BRC would be close. James Williams and Tom Woodburn just behind Gallagher on the results, proving the point nicely with a small gap of just 0.6 of a second. There was a good feeling in their car as well, and they had a little more to give once they got the feeling on the gravel. It was a new car this weekend for Enda McCormack and Colin Fitzgerald. It was taking some getting used to as well, but things were going well. They'd need to tidy things up a little, but there were plenty struggling out there on the stages with these slippery conditions in the early stages of the event. A non-championship crew suffering with a fire on the first stage of the day would cause Finlay Retson and Richard Crozier to have to stop. Thankfully, they did everything as they should, and times for the second stage would see them end the morning with 8th place at this stage, 4th in our junior category. Rory Bell and Darren Garrett were reporting finding the stages pretty technical. Not really anywhere to open up the car and pick up the speed, but they again were doing what they needed to do this morning, keeping themselves in the fight for that M Sport and Pirelli prize money. And rounding out the top 10 leaderboard at this stage would be this man, Will Crichton, Liam Regan alongside. Not exactly where they would have wanted to be on the results at this stage, but a puncture in the second stage of the morning would see them dropping down the leaderboard and into a sometimes all too familiar chasing position. We have, of course, seen some great comeback drives from the pair this season though, so a good result wasn't off the cards just yet.
40. Oh, we've got a puncture. Yep. 40. 3.5 miles to go. 40. 2 right. Into. 3 left. Into. Slowing slightly left. Over crest. 20. 4 left in. Gonna have to come right back. 120. Very slippy. 5 right plus.
Alan Carmichael and Claire Williams, meanwhile, will be finding the first of the day's stages slippery. The pair would drop down a little in the second stage of the day, ending the morning's opening stages with an uncharacteristic 11th overall. And there be bad news for last year's runner-up in the championship again. Alex Laffey and Stuart Loudon missing from the top of our results. This time not out for good, but they slide slightly offline, ripping the rear wheel off the Fiesta in the second stage of the day, forced then to pull over and repair the car in stage. And that means they drop right down to the bottom of our leaderboard, but at least they could continue on the rest of the rally. So we're 2 stages down in this season's finale, and already the drama was on. Cave leading the way, doing just what he needed to do at this stage. Matt Edwards again managing things admirably out there with the championship still to be decided. We're out then into the next loop of stages here at the Galloway Hills Rally, and there'd be no change at the top for that championship battle. Tom Cave and Dale Bowen keep it going at a good pace, extending their lead at the top. A reasonable margin now of 26 seconds. Things still going to plan for the Hyundai pair and showing exactly why they're in the hunt for this title. And indeed, apart from the time difference, there'd be no change for Johnny Greer and Di Roberts either. They were happy enough with their pace in the stages, remaining in second place with a good advantage in that position themselves as well. Coming into this round, Matt Edwards and Patrick Walsh did not need any heroics to be able to hang on to that championship and defend their title from last season, and they weren't having any either. They were pushing where they could, backing off on the crests and the worst of the corners. They sit over a minute back from the lead, but this pace would be all they needed for that championship victory here on the final round. Things were still going smoothly, meanwhile, for Jordan Hone and Keaton Williams, posting some great times in that Opel Adam. They lead the way in the junior category still, but the times were close. They couldn't afford to back off in the final stages of the event. Far from comfortable then, chasing down Hone for that junior lead would be this man, James Williams, Tom Woodburn alongside. They worked their way up the leaderboard to come within 1.3 seconds of that category lead. And they would, of course, have the category victory in their sights. The red mist was there, but that Fiesta victory was also so important to secure. So that change around then means it's Marty Gallagher and Dean O'Sullivan lying third in the juniors now, 8.7 seconds back from Williams and still in the fight. Of course, with a number of non-finishes under their belts this season, they'd just be happy to be looking good for a podium here in Scotland. No change on their overall result at this stage for Enda McCormack and Colin Fitzgerald. They get through the middle loop of the day at a good pace, ending the afternoon 7th on the leaderboard. And as we predicted, Will Crichton and Liam Regan were starting that fight back up the overall results after their earlier puncture. They move up to 8th place on the leaderboard now, 4th in the junior category. They just had to do what they could this weekend, and a podium would be a good position to be aiming for. Finley Retson and Richard Crozier would be one of the crews who'd done this event before, but not most of these stages, so the advantage wasn't really a big one. They were happy with how things were going though, ending the afternoon with 9th. Alan Carmichael and Claire Williams managed to scrabble a place back through the afternoon, ending the 5th stage of the day, rounding out the top 10 overall. The time's looking good though now for the pair. And Rory Bell with Darren Garrett alongside will be trying to find a good balance between pushing hard and maintaining a good, strong finish. Things going to plan so far for the pair. Their position not changing in the Fiestas, although they were now outside of the top 10 overall in 11th. No change either for Alex Laffey and Stuart Loudon. The car repaired, they were back on track and the times were looking strong. But of course, a good result for the rally now was out of the window. So just a handful of stages to go then. It was looking good for Matt Edwards, Cave doing what he could, but up front, he would just have to hope something changed behind. We're on to the final stages of the rally then, and we are down to the wire. Indeed, the season would end right here. Alex Laffey and Stuart Loudon rounding out the results at the end of the rally. A disappointing end to the season, but of course, it could have been a lot worse. There'd be a big shake-up in the results for the junior category though. That Fiesta prize money at stake here. James Williams and Tom Woodburn pick up a puncture on stage 6 after clipping a rock towards the end of the stage. Also suspected damaged steering. Worse would be to come though on the following stage. The pair go off the road, crashing out of the rally dramatically and out of that battle for the Fiestas.
Oh, something broke.
Yeah.
Steering arm broke.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, well done.
So in this game, one man or two men's disappointment is another's delight, and for Rory Bell and Darren Garrett, it would be an ideal finish to their season. They take 9th overall this weekend, but their results for the season mean that they pick up the €60,000 prize from M Sport and Pirelli.
Rory, I think we've said all year consistency is key. You didn't think you'd be in this position this morning. Here we are, winner of €60,000 towards the 2020 Junior WRC programme with M Sport and Pirelli. How does it feel?
It's a bit surreal still at the moment, but it's been a tough day and a tough year. Brilliant competition, and I'm so glad to be here right now. Ultimately, we had a set goal at the beginning of the year and we've managed to achieve it, so no complaints from us. And I don't know about Darren, I think I managed to get it round just at the end, so all good.
Back to the all-important championship leaderboard then, and it will be a steady run in the new car for Enda McCormack and Colin Fitzgerald as they end the rally with 8th place this weekend. For Finlay Retson and Richard Crozier, it would be 7th. A strong finish, but sadly not good enough for the victory. They'd certainly be happy with their performance this weekend though. They take 3rd in the junior category. And the final stages would be a lot kinder to Alan Carmichael and Claire Williams, climbing their way up the leaderboard to end the rally with 6th place overall in the Hyundai. A little more characteristic, you have to say. There was last-ditch frustration though. One crew not making it to the end of the rally after a strong performance would be Jordan Hone and Keaton Williams. Our early junior leaders would be on a big push to try and take victory, only to be caught out on stage 6, putting the car into a ditch. They do get out though with the help of spectators, but the damage, of course, had been done to both the results and to the car. Game over, a disappointing end to a great performance here in Scotland and a strong season. There would be celebrations, though, in the Gallagher and O'Sullivan camp. Marty and Dean didn't take victory this weekend, but it must have felt like one, getting to the end of the rally without any problems to report, and with it taking a 2nd place in the junior category. And with one of those familiar comeback drives, although they wish it wasn't so familiar, it would be a junior category victory for Will Crichton and Liam Regan. They fought back from that early puncture to get themselves back on top, winning by 5.8 seconds here at the final round of the championship.
Slow, 3 right long, and you're done.
Will, congratulations. A podium, not only a podium, 1st place at the Galloway Hills Rally for the BLC Juniors. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. We're all delighted. So happy to get the win. Now, obviously that's what we were going for this weekend, and to get held back with a puncture this morning and then to fight back, we were really happy and just over the moon for the whole team, DGM and everyone who's been involved.
Here we go then, the championship decider. Onto the overall results. It will be 3rd this weekend for Matt Edwards and Patrick Walsh. In other circumstances, that would have been a disappointing end to a rally for Matt Edwards, but that was all they needed to do to retain the title for 2019. British Rally champions once again after a tough and challenging season with the Swift Rally team. There may not have been a championship at stake for Johnny Greer and Di Roberts, but they wanted a good result nonetheless. They reached the end of the rally with exactly that, the 2nd place that they'd held all day. A great result to end the season. And of course, that does mean out in front, it's victory for Tom Cave and Dale Bowen. They did exactly what they came here to do, nailing the brief and going out on a high. Victory at the final round of the championship. but frustratingly a championship win which would slip out of their hands after being out of their control all day. It would be second place, a familiar spot for the pair, having taken that previously. The British Championship title couldn't be far away for the pair, you have to say. So here it is then, confirmation of the results here at the final round of what has been a pretty dramatic and exciting 2019 British Rally Championship season.
Tom, congratulations here at the end of the 2019 Galloway Hills Rally, final round of the British Rally Championship. You've sealed off the season with a very fine win.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we've had a really good day in the car. Clean sweep of stage wins throughout the day, and we just came out fighting, and we had to do what we had to do to try and win the championship. But you know, well done to Matt and Patrick on the championship today. But you know, we did a great job. Dale did a great job on the car as well, and yeah, thrilled to get the win.
Runner-up to Elfyn Elvins before, runner-up to Matt Edwards now. Third time lucky?
Yeah, too many bridesmaid moments, isn't it? But no, we've had. It's nice to seal the year off with a really dominant win today, and I knew in my head that we could be competitive, and I just enjoyed the stages, the great stages up here in Scotland, and yeah, it's been a very enjoyable year.
Matt, here at the end of the Galloway Hills Rally, 2018 and 2019 British Rally Champion. How does that feel tonight?
I don't know really. Obviously we went into what ended up being the last stage, and in my head I thought it was going to be 2 stages, so mentally prepared to do 2, and it was over after 1, so it was a bit of a funny feeling to be there, a bit of an anticlimax in some ways, but utterly just fantastic. I had a great team, Sport again, and Patrick's been faultless on the notes all year. Huge support from Pirelli and Swift and Yuasa batteries again, and it's everything's come together again, and we've I hope Tom will take it as a compliment. It feels great to have competed with him this year, and always been in the shadow a little bit, so to take him on pace as well has been really chuffed with that, so just unbelievable.
So that's it for our coverage of the 2019 British Rally Championship. A roller coaster of a season with no shortage of action or drama. And with an exciting calendar already announced for next season, we just have to wait and see who is up for the challenge of becoming British Rally Champions for 2020. For now, it's congratulations to Matt Edwards and Patrick Walsh. Thank you for watching.